Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the wrap-up, your daily dose of pop culture and movie news, hosted by me, Mr. H Reviews. On today's show, we'll be talking Daisy Ridley, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and the Rian Johnson's trilogy. There's a lot to dissect here, so we'll touch on that. We also have some news with respect to Selma Hayek being cast in Marvel's The Eternals, and then there'll be a massive spoiler warning, but it is the last topic that we get to. Spider-Man Far From Home post-credit scenes have been revealed as well. So we'll touch on that, the descriptions for those, why they're so interesting, why all the reviewers were touting them. So we'll get to that. But if there's anything that you want to skip right ahead to, there are timestamps down below in the description box and linked in a pinned comment. So just skip right ahead. Don't have to listen to me waffle. Guys, we'll take the opportunity though straight from the top. If you're new here, hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on this, a daily show where I give you pop culture and movie news all in one place, and then also movie reviews and such like that. If you are enjoying what I'm doing here on the channel, consider becoming a Patreon, because that really helps me out as well. It helps keep the lights on, even though I've got a window in front of me. But anyway, let's crack on, shall we? So this is over on Star Wars News Net, a great website, actually, really good website. They have compiled all of this together and they've transcripted it, so great for them. Good Morning America and BuzzFeed are the two interviewers. So Good Morning America sat down with Daisy Ridley, and they obviously touched briefly on, the Rise of Skywalker, and said, obviously, we can't have you here and not talk about Star Wars. Only 177 days away, but who's counting until the world sees the Rise of Skywalker? Apparently you are. Kerry Russell said the script made her cry. What's your reaction, or what was your reaction to the script? Now, Daisy's answer was somewhat interesting. She says the thing that was really amazing is a lot of the crew did all three films, so it was really emotional anyway, but there were a few scenes that we did where everyone was really moved. And a lot of the times, the crew are doing their job, so it's not like such an emotional thing. It's like more technical, but it was. Some bits are, and a lot of it is really moving. I find it very emotional. Yeah, finishing, I was, yes. I mean, a lot of this is PR spin, we'll just say from the top. Of course, a lot of it's PR spin. I'm amazed that they're already trying to hype this up. 177 days away? God damn. Guys, I don't think anyone's that bothered by it now. Obviously, there are people that are, I know. But it's not as interesting as, as it was before. I mean, I saw that trailer released, didn't give me, there was no goosebumps, there's no special feeling with it. It felt very clinical, very dry, very paint by numbers. Almost like it was made by a committee board, basically. That's genuinely how I felt that trailer, it came across like it was made by a committee board. But anyway, Good Morning America continued and said, look, now we have to wait that long to see it. John Boyega posted a picture of him, you, and Oscar Isaac. What was it like the final days of shooting on the film? Well, John rapped, so I was already hysterically crying, and then I rapped, and I did a speech, and I cannot remember what I said. I kept going, I'm really sorry, I'm really sorry. The whole crew was there, it was embarrassing, and obviously people recorded it, and I still can't tell you what I said. I was I just had the best time in my whole life. I'm really excited to see it. And she says, interestingly enough, she's not actually seen a cut of the film. So obviously she was asked, have you seen a cut of the film? No. JJ has shown me a couple bits, which was very exciting. When we went in to go see the trailer, he showed me a few bits. It feels, I don't know if it's because I've done more now, it's always really hard to watch yourself. But this time I feel it's the most excited I've felt. So she's not seen a cut of the film, which is fairly standard, to be honest. I'd imagine they'll be invited quite close to the time to go and see a cut. She says episode 9 is the combination of the Star Wars universe so far, but do you think we'll see Rey pop up after this last edition? I mean, who can tell? What I would say is that I think it's a brilliant end to the story. And like JJ, someone, Chris, who, honestly, get your formatting right, who wrote it as well, have done an incredible job of wrapping up. Because there are so many references, obviously, to the 9 films, but also exists in its own thing. So I think people are going to feel satisfied. And that's part of what we know anyway, because we know that There's going to be the Emperor pop up in this film. There's a whole lot of nonsense which is happening in this film, which, you know, is referencing all the other films. I'd be intrigued to see whether any of these locations reference any of the other films, you know? I feel like they probably will. One thing I will always say about Star Wars is they get their locations right. Regardless of whatever you think of the films, their locations are on point. But let's continue. So there was another interview with respect to BuzzFeed. They interviewed Daisy Ridley. And it was the writer and co-lead editor Jordan Pates has obviously transcripted this. This is with a BuzzFeed interview. And this is all about Rian Johnson's trilogy, interestingly enough. So BuzzFeed said, so the last film in the current Star Wars trilogy, The Rise of Skywalker, is done. But there's rumours that your character, Rey, may be in the next trilogy. Can you comment? Is that true? Are you thinking about it? Remember, that touches on what was said up here already. Do you think we'll see Rey pop up after this last edition? So, her answer, very diplomatic, very PR spin. I mean, I can say I'm not in the next trilogy. No. I think, because Ryan always said, if it's the Ryan one, or it's the guys that did Game of Thrones, I'm not sure. Whichever one it was, they always said it was going to be a separate story. So I'm not. No. But would you want to come back to the universe? I mean, it's a great universe. I've had a great time. So, this almost sounds like she doesn't really know which one is actually a separate story. You could read it as they're both separate stories, but as she says, if it's the Ryan one, or it's the guys that did Game of Thrones, I'm not sure. Whichever one it was, they always said it was going to be a separate story. So, it almost reads like she doesn't know. But interestingly enough, BuzzFeed then said, so you've been out there as the woman front and centre in the series for the last couple movies, and some of the fans have been critical. Always got to do this, haven't they? Always. Fuck me. Do you have a strategy to put them in their place, or do you just try to ignore them? Well, critical of me being a lady, I mean, I can't change that. I like Daisy's response, because there was all these questions about, what was it, Reylo, they keep calling it. You know, Kylo, Ren, and Daisy Ridley, the whole Reylo romance. And Daisy Ridley was like, nah, I think it's sad. I do like her responses. I do like her responses. And again, they continue, because they're desperately trying to get something from this. They are trying. And BuzzFeed says, critical of you being a lady in their blessed Star Wars. Again, BuzzFeed are antagonizing Daisy here. They're trying to get a reaction. I think that's really bad. So Daisy Ridley says, you know, I am a lady. I will always be a lady. I honestly think now with social media and stuff, weirdly people, like, it's great to have freedom of expression, but I do feel like people think that opinions have so much weight. I don't think, like, bad vibes should have the sun shone on them. Like, I don't want to read your thing. Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it? That is absolutely brilliant. She's just like knocking down their comments. You followed the lead of Kelly Marie Tran. You've deleted Instagram and Twitter. Would you ever consider coming back to social media, or are you just cut off like a Skywalker limb? Cut off like a Skywalker limb. Never coming back. No. Also, I mean, like, when I want to see what my pals are up to, you just Google it. Imagine having friends in such high places that if you want to see what they're doing, you simply Google it. What a world. Strange, the other side. How the other half live, eh? And you can go to Instagram. No, I think it's Selena Gomez. I mean, she put it better than I did. But it's like, you know, it's dangerous. Also, it's great because a lot of people have a voice, and especially in places where terrible things are happening. And they kind of, you know, information or whatever. It's great in that respect for people who are in serious or dire situations, but to be able to communicate. But for the most part, I think no. So look, go to, you know, StarWarsNewsNet.com. They're a good website, and you know, great for them to have transcripted all of this. I think what's really telling about this is just her, you know, the fact that they're trying to wrap it all up. I feel that this really does run the risk of being just a big mess. and hold your horses before you dislike the video. What I mean by that is, like, you've got, you know, J.J. Abrams obviously had an idea, a vague idea. Rian Johnson just completely doubled back on it. Whatever you think of that doesn't matter. But it does change how the narrative is going to flow, because you've literally got directors not following a narrative structure and just going, well, do what I want in this story then. And that's what Rian Johnson did. And that's inevitably what left a lot of people annoyed. Just because there was very clearly a narrative structure that was then turned on its head. Now, J.J. Abrams obviously faces quite a large task here, where he has to try to, you know, recoup some of his own narrative, which he established, try to appease fans, but also do it in a way which doesn't leave the universe completely disjointed and a mess. And I think that's potentially what's going to happen. I think this will be a complete mess of a film, or will run the risk of just being overlong, way too long, and as a result of that, it will just seem bloated, unorganized, and people will just get annoyed as a result of that as well. But I hand it on over to you. What do you think? What's your take home from any of these, you know, interview questions, the answers, things like that? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do let me know down below. Are you a fan of Star Wars? And if so, are you a fan of the new trilogy? Because I always think that's a very interesting comparison to draw. If you're a fan of Star Wars, do you like the new trilogy? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, what we'll do, we will move on to Marvel The Eternals. Here we go. Right. So, just shuffle on this because websites aren't formatted the same. Selma Hayek. The Wrap is reporting. Apparently there's a flash sale. But The Wrap is reporting that Selma Hayek is on the cast, basically. Which is great. Really, really, really good, actually. So according to The Wrap, for the From Dusk Till Dawn actress, she's been in other stuff, but fine, is in negotiations to join Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, and Kamal Nanjiani in the Marvel Studios' Cosmic Adventure, which will be directed by the Riddler's Chloe Zhao. Now, the interesting part of this is obviously we don't know who she's going to be playing. Now, Hayek is arguably best known for From Dusk Till Dawn, Hitman's Bodyguard, Savage's Traffic. I mean, I don't know if she's best known for that. She's best known for, again, going to appear sexist here, but she's really best known for how she looks. She's a beautiful woman. Now, I think this will be interesting just to see how this develops, who she'll be playing. What's your fan casting for this? Because there's no news with respect to who she's playing, but what's your fan casting? Who do you want her to play? Who do you think she'll be best, cast in the role of? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, guys, full spoilers. Okay, full spoilers for this. Post-credit scene, Spider-Man, Far From Home. You've been warned. Click off the video. So, mid-credit scene. The mid-credit scene picks up, and just quickly bear in mind, right? This is what every single reviewer was saying, we love this. This is amazing. The credit scene is the best that Marvel has ever done. So, let's take a look at why. And see if it was all just PR bollocks. So the mid-credit scene picks up immediately where the movie ends, as Spider-Man swings through New York City with MJ. After setting her down and leaping on top of a nearby lamppost, a news report starts playing on one of Madison Square Garden's big screens with a breaking story from the dailybugle.net. So I like that. That's good. It sets up the Daily Bugle. The site has acquired an exclusive video from the movie's final battle, and the anchor then passes things over to J. Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons. He's back! Yes! J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson. There is no one else that can play that role. He is J. Jonah Jameson. So anyway, he shares a video Mysterio recorded, which he's manipulated to make it appear as if Spider-Man was the one attacking the city, and claims that the wall crawler has taken him out because he wants to be the new Tony Stark. Jameson brands Spidey a menace and blames him for the murder of the world's greatest superhero before sharing the second half of the video. In that, Mysterio reveals that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and a photo of the high school student is shown on the screen as the hero watches on in horror, and we return to the credits. Now, a few things that's interesting here. One, J.K. Simmons is back. Why? How does that establish anything? Is he pulled in from another Spider-Man universe? Is the Tobey Maguire universe an alternate universe? What's going on? Secondly, Mysterio showing, videos and stuff like that. It's good that this sets up why J. Jonah Jameson hates Spider-Man, right? Because obviously we've always known that he hates Spider-Man, but why? This then establishes that firmly and gets them off to a bad start. But it's interesting how Peter Parker's identity is revealed, which we thought that was going to happen because of the Iron Spider-Man suit and things like that, but apparently not. Now, it continues. The after-credits scene. So this is the one that, the overall post-credit scene. The after-credit scene kicks off with Nick Fury and Maria Hill driving together, and it's then that they transform into Talos and his wife. They've been Skrulls all along. And while you might think this is the start of a secret invasion, we quickly learn that Talos, who hasn't aged a day, is covering for the real Fury. So where is he? Well, he's taking a much-needed vacation. And after receiving a call from Talos, we learn that the former S.H.I.E.L.D. director is chilling out on a beach, which turns out to be a simulation on a spaceship full of Skrulls. It seems Fury has decided to spend some time in space with Captain Marvel, who isn't shown, and the scene ends with him asking the aliens if they've seen his shoes. It's a moment played for laughs and seemingly not one that will have any huge ramifications. Now, it's really surprising that would happen. I mean, look, they were bound to do something like that again. I'll be keen to know when they filmed this, whether they filmed it alongside Captain Marvel or not. But yeah, very, very interesting to hear. I don't know whether this is, like this mid-credit scene, I wouldn't say this is the best that Marvel has ever done. But it's a fair one. It's a pretty damn good, post-credit scene. I just don't know whether it's one which we can say is the very best. J.K. Simmons being in it is just, that's going to light up the theatre. Everyone's going to love that. Definitely sets up why J. Jonah Jameson hates him. Now, Talos and his wife, the Skrulls, great. Sad that it doesn't set up a secret invasion. We've long thought that was going to happen, that we were going to get that, but it appears not. And he's just chilling in space. I mean, that's fine. Absolutely fine. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'll be keen to hear your thoughts. Is this good? Is this bad? Let me know down below. Now, what we've got is some viewer questions. So if you want your viewer question answered here on this daily dose of pop culture and movie news, then you can email them to me over on Gmail, mistakesreviews@gmail.com, using the subject line, The Wrap Up. We've got one question today. That's all we've got time for, as this is a very long episode. Now, Spider-Pig emailed in and said, "Hey there, H-Man. You're probably going to be reading this one tomorrow." I am. And by then, The Sinking City is going to be out for release. Now, if no one knows what this game is, it is a Cthulhu detective story game, a la The Call of Cthulhu, made by, basically it was two teams that split and disbanded and whatever. Is that the kind of game you'd be interested in playing? And if so, will you be uploading it to your channel? No, I was. But then I've seen all the reviews and they're real bad. It's got some huge bugs. It's not as refined. It's really not worth the money. From what I can see, there's NPCs. There's like 5 NPCs come along and piss on a garbage can in a row. It's just real lazy, some of the programming that's there. So yeah, no, I won't. I really won't. If you guys do like me playing games, I'm actually playing Soma currently over on Patreon. So you can head on over and watch that if you become a Patreon. It's one of the rewards. But yeah, no, I fully planned to. I was going to get Sinking City, but having seen the reviews and the fact it's an Epic Games exclusive, it's not something which is catching my eye because it's super expensive for what it is. It's got huge bugs and it's just not as refined as it could be. I just begrudge paying so much money for a game, which I'm personally probably not going to enjoy that much. When I do playthroughs for the channel, they don't earn any money. They earn like $2. So it's kind of pointless, really. I never make the money back from the game. So if it's a game which I'm not looking forward to playing, I'm not going to buy it. Obviously, that that makes sense, right? It's a false economy otherwise. So yeah, no, sadly not. But I do appreciate your question. I think a few people have been wondering that anyway, so it's a good question to ask. Anyway, guys, that wraps up here for me on this daily dose of pop culture movie news all in one place. If you're new here, like I said, hit subscribe. Check out my Patreon. Thanks so much. Give this video a like and a share. I've Mr. H. Take care.